Hope you had a good holiday break. I know I haven't been recording much and I've just been relaxing and doing some other things, preparing for my trip out of the country, but that'll be in another video. So for now, let's continue with the MacBook Pro 16-inch 24-core. A lot of people have seen the performance figures on these machines and people are wondering, should I go for the 32-core version or should I go with one of the lower tier machine? Let me say this, it depends on what you do in your workflow, whether it's video, photography, or something else. And remember one thing, these are just tools. So you have to choose a better tool for your purpose. The one thing I can say about these machines are that when it comes to CPU performance, they're pretty much the same. Because remember, unless you get the base M1 Pro version, most of them are going to be 10-core GPUs. I'm sorry, 10-core CPUs. And the performance on that side of things are going to be the same. Web browsing, document editing, spreadsheets, and so on. And they fall pretty much in the same area. Going from the 16-core to 24-core gives you a performance bump. And it's a decent performance bump. A lot of us who are buying these machines, especially if you do content creation, you're thinking about future. How long is this machine going to last me? And as someone who's had both PC and Mac and has been a PC tech for years, I can tell you that my Apple machines have lasted me much longer than my PC machines. That's my experience. Other people's experience may be different, but I can only speak on mine. And from what I'm seeing online with other folks as well, this tends to be the case. That being said, the Intel CPU and Apple machines haven't always provided the best performance for most people. And personally, over the last few years, I didn't get back into Apple because of the Intel CPUs. It's nice to say, hey, I have a slim machine, but then if the machine keeps overheating when you're doing things, it kind of sucks. And my experience with them was at work. When we started giving out Apple machines at work, I have to configure them and set them up for people. So you tend to play around with it, use it. And when someone complains about something is going on and you get to take a look at it, then you start to realize, yeah, that's not normal. The machine is nice, it's thin and light, but as soon as you start using it to do anything intensive or not even that intensive, the fan kicks in and it will make a lot of noise. And this played into my decision to go with the 16-inch version because based upon the video, the presentation, this one had more space and a bigger fan to get rid of the heat from the machine. And having something that will not make a lot of noise when you're using it, that's a plus. The other side of things now is PCs and how does it compare? While AMD has been kicking butt in the laptop field and also on the desktop side as well, the machines that they put out haven't always been the best. They perform well, they just don't look all that great. And they're bigger and bulkier. Plus, you've seen, I don't have representation right now, you've seen some of the power bricks that you have to carry around with these machines and use them plugged in. Yeah. When I saw this machine was going to perform the same way on battery as on power, that intrigued me. So with that kind of performance, it's easy to see why lots of people are choosing to go with the MacBook Pros, whether it's the 14 or the 16-inch. I'm pretty sure in the next couple of months, we're going to see some stuff from Intel and AMD that may be on par. As a matter of fact, this morning I saw AMD's presentation on their upcoming laptop chips, and they did tout 24 hours of video watching. When we heard that about Apple's machine, we all got excited about that. Now, hearing that on an AMD machine, of course, there is a bit of excitement about that. It's about time. Because for the last few years, while AMD's been coming up, we know Intel has been the top guy, but Intel has not been giving us the kind of performance that we all wanted. Well, the performance was there to a certain extent, but that's going to cost you a lot of money to get into it. Not saying that the Apple's cheaper, but now we're talking about being able to have desktop class performance in a laptop and being able to have the performance while on battery power. The one thing I wish I had done with this machine is get the 2 terabyte drive from my Mac. I didn't. Everything's external at this point. But you know, that means I have to juggle some external hard drive, which I don't mind, you know, as long as it gets the work done. The 24 core GPU at this moment for the 4K videos that I do, it's overkill when it comes to rendering. And overkill is just like a term that I use because I remember when, let's say you did a 10-minute video, it could take 15 minutes to compile and you're like, yay, it's great. When I did editing with my MacBook Air and then complete the rendering, if it's a 10-minute video, hey, it's right about 10 minutes, or actually it was under the time of the video that it completed the rendering. And you know, that's the side that you really are most concerned about. In a sense, when you're sitting there doing your edits, you know, whatever time that is, you're not using much of the power of the machine. You can do that on battery, you'll be fine. When it comes down to the rendering, that's what takes time. And to be able to knock out, say, a 30-minute video in 3 minutes, dude, you can have a bunch of things lined up to work on, knock those things out, drop them in the render queue, knock them out, knock them out, knock them out, boom, it's done, post them. Now, I'm not recording that many videos at this point, but I know at some point I'm gonna start recording more and posting more, and having that capability to be able to render a video, complete it, and upload it within, let's say, 10 minutes after you complete, that's great. You're not waiting a long period of time to get it done. With all that said, do I regret my decision in going to the 24 core machine? Absolutely not. Yeah, it's overkill and it is a bit weighty, not gonna lie about that, but I'm starting to get used to the weight and walking around the house, editing with it. I've been basically, you know, forcing myself to get used to doing that because once I start getting on the road and traveling a lot, I'm gonna need to reutilize this machine a lot more. Should you get one? Sure. What's your use case? Do you need an M1 Max based machine, or can you be fine with the M1 Pro? I think for most people, what they're doing, the M1 Pro will be fine. In the back of our head, what we've been thinking about from what we had in the past, you need a machine with gobs of memory and, you know, killer amount of GPU to be able to do the same kind of work that we had in the past. Using a MacBook Air with only 8 GB of memory has shown me that the machine can perform quite well on that small amount of memory. So I didn't need to go 64 GB. I could be fine with 32. And I believe I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that I think it went up to about 23 GB of usage when I was using a few applications and edited and so on. And once or twice, I think I've seen it go into swap file space, but it wasn't that large amount. I think at most it was 28 GB that it used. Still didn't use all 32 gigs. To me, that's great. But knowing that I can run other applications on it and still have them in the background while editing, yes, the performance is certainly much better than on the MacBook Air. So for that, I give it a lot of credit. So my conclusion after almost 2 months using this machine is that it's a great unit. For most people, again, it is going to be pricey if you want to get in at this level. But if you're a content creator and looking for that better balance between performance and price, that value proposition, the middle child, the redheaded stepchild, as people would say, that one that usually doesn't get a lot of attention, the 24 core, I think is going to be a great machine for a lot of you out there. Do you need to go 32? Depends on what you're doing. But then again, I think most of us probably won't. And as of right now, ordering one of those machines, it's like a 2 to 3 month wait according to what I've been seeing online, especially if you start to spec it up higher for memory and for drive space. So keep that in mind. All right, that's it for me today. I want to keep it short, but I tend to ramble sometimes, so forgive me for that. Hopefully you like the content, and I hope that you will subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and stay tuned for more. Take care. See you in the next one.